Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and in this one we are testing the GeForce RTX 4070 Ti Super in Assassin's Creed Shadows, and special thanks to Ubisoft for providing me access to this game early. And here are all the specs of the GPU. We have the Zotac AMP Hollow model of the card. We have the latest NVIDIA driver 572.83, which released just now, which is game ready for Assassin's Creed Shadows, I guess Last of Us 2 and Half-Life 2 RTX as well, I guess. You can check the list. And we have 16 gigs of GDDR6X from Micron. And over here, we have Intel Core i7-13700KF CPU, and also resizable bar is enabled. I forgot to tell that. And for memory, we have 64 gigabytes of DDR5 6000 mega transfers per second, CL36. And finally, for MSI Afterburner, no overclocks applied. Everything is set to stock settings. So let's jump into the game and check out the frame rates. So here we are inside the menu, guys, of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Let's go to the options quickly and show you the settings first. And the game has no full screen mode, unfortunately, so we have to run borderless. We're going to start it off with 1080p resolution and climb our way up to 4K. And this game has a frame limiter also. I'm going to turn that off, of course. And for upscalers, it has TAA, DLSS, FSR, and XeSS. And for DLSS, when I use it, I'm going to manually override from the NVIDIA app. You can do that. It supports that with a new driver. And we're going to stick to DLAA. You lose like 2 or 3 FPS from TAA to DLAA. So we're going to stick to DLAA. And maybe we will use TAA for 4K because we need all the FPS we can get. And frame generation is turned off. It has FSR and DLSS FG both, and chromatic aberration. Glad there is an option to turn it off. It wasn't there in Mirage in the starting days. And motion blur is off as well. And here are the main settings. As you can see, you cannot turn off ray tracing completely in this game. You can put them on low, and right now we are using ray traced global illumination, diffuse burst, specular everywhere, and overall preset is basically set to ultra high, but I have manually set everything to maximum graphic settings for each and every options which are here. And ray tracing is maxed out also for now, and rest of the settings are pretty much maxed out ultra high. Some of them go to high, some go to very high, and a few I think also go to medium, maybe. I'm guessing. No medium. Everything goes to high at least. So yeah, only one option which goes to you need to change is the terrain quality manually to ultra high, and the rest of them are pretty much ultra high preset. So this is maxed out settings. Let's have a look, guys. And this is not good at 1080p. A 4070 Ti Super, as you can see, is barely touching that 60 FPS mark. It will drop, don't worry. I know, I've already tested this GPU on my live stream. So as you can see, 55 now. And this is the hideout area. This is like a safe space. And this is where you can build your stuff around. And let me tell you straight, this game looks very beautiful in terms of the visuals, the vegetation and everything. Colors are very vibrant and saturated. Not oversaturated, but it's pretty good in my eyes. I'm really enjoying it so far, the visuals of this game. And when you leave or enter the hideout, like just now I left it, there is a loading screen. And at 1080p, obviously it looks blurry. Hello there. Let's talk to him. And cutscenes, by the way, they only run at 30 FPS, 31 to be specific. You cannot unlock the FPS in cutscenes, unfortunately. I'm gonna skip every cutscene, not gonna spoil your gameplay experience, so don't worry about that. And at 1080p, as you can see, natively it can barely stay above 60, averaging at 57. Maybe if you OC the card a bit more, we can get that 60 FPS average. And by the way, guys, this game at 1080p looks quite good, unlike other 1080p games. I mean, unlike other games which look pretty bad at 1080p. Some of them I have mentioned before in my test, like Jedi Survivor, Hogwarts Legacy, and recently there was one more I just tested. I forgot which one was that. Was that Split Fiction? I don't really remember. I forgot. This area is a bit foggy. Let's call our horse. And if you want some specific settings testing, do let me know in the comments below. I don't want to make this video too big with multiple settings being tested. I'm gonna check out maxed settings mostly right now, and maybe I will lower the ray trace settings and use some DLSS and FG. That's it. I won't play around with very high and high, all that stuff. I'll do those later on if you ask. But as you can see, we're dropping into mid 50s now. It's not a stable experience. And also this game is pretty light on the CPU part. Not so heavy, unlike AC Odyssey and Origins. They were pretty like CPU intense. I don't remember Valhalla though. Was it that CPU intense though? Okay, now we are moving to quality DLSS this time, as you can see, at 1080p resolution, no frame generation though, and we are using DLSS 4. I have manually overridden from the NVIDIA app. You can do that. This game has both DLSS 4 and multi-frame generation support if you have a 50 series GPU. Not applicable for this one though. And everything else is maxed out over here, including ray tracing, just like the previous settings. So, wow, now we can stay above 60 FPS all the time, hopefully. I really like the vegetation in this game. Oh god, level up, nice. And also this game is not so demanding on the VRAM side of things. You will see. But I'm kinda annoyed with this fog everywhere right now. But yeah, 1% glows are flawless in this game. This game is pretty stable. In terms of stuttering, you won't see any, barely any. Experience has been pretty good so far with this GPU in this game. I mean, optimization is a different thing, and then low FPS is a completely different thing, you know what I mean? I can even play with 45 FPS if the game runs smooth with a smooth frame time. That is what it is called, optimization. Yep. Personally, that's what I think. Smart. So yeah, 71 FPS average, as you can see with quality DLSS. As I said, I'm not gonna spend too much time at 1080p, and especially for this video, I don't want to make it too long. I'm gonna enable frame generation now, DLSS frame generation. I'm using DLAA, native DLSS, as you can see. And frame generation set to DLSS. Let's apply that. This is 2x frame generation, not 4x. You can only do that in 50 series GPU, and everything else is maxed out, including ray tracing as well. And the frame time gets broken, as you can see, because of this thing, the what do you call that, DLSS 4. And we're getting 100 plus FPS right now, which is pretty good. And I can't really feel the input latency at all, especially when playing with the controller. There is no delay whatsoever. We were getting like base FPS was about like 50 to 60 and more than 60 at times. So yeah, it is a playable experience. Are we supposed to deal with these guards?
I can't get caught here.
And it's running flawless, a little bit more VRAM being used or allocated right now because of frame generation. But pretty good experience, nonetheless, even with FG turned on. Let's have a little bit more walk around outside. And the trees and vegetation is really demanding in this game, and that's what you will find mostly throughout. And I kind of chose the wrong time to benchmark this game. Everything is so hazy right now, I mean foggy. But yeah, performance I don't think will get a hit because of that. So 108 average, guys, no latency I can feel, even with the mouse. I can't really feel anything, trust me. Now disable DLSS frame generation. I'm going to stick to DLAA. So turn off frame gen, and every other settings is set to ultra high preset, and the terrain quality is also set to ultra high. Where is that? This one. And only the ray trace settings I have set the lowest, which I can in game. So diffuse hideout only. So and ray tracing quality set to low. BVH is set to low as well. And right now we're getting 70 FPS. So this is basically what we were getting with quality DLSS with ray tracing set to like max. But it's a little bit less than that, than quality DLSS. But the game really looks night and day difference with RT and with RT set to maximum and it's set to low. Low basically looks like it's turned off, to be honest. It's obviously not off. There are many effects still present, like the shadows are there. Now it's no more foggy. I'm glad. Pretty beautiful, right? And let me know what you think about this game in the comments down below. I would love to know that. Change stance. I would love to explore this world of feudal Japan. Looking pretty gorgeous to me. Not sure about the story of the game though, how it's gonna go. I hope it's gonna be good. And as you can see, the 1% low, 53, which is pretty good. The average we are getting is 67. In terms of that, it's pretty good. And now it's time to test the target resolution of the 4070 Ti Super, that is 1440p. And no upscaling being used. As you can see, we are using DLSS set to native A, which is basically DLAA, no frame gen, and motion blur and chromatic aberration is turned off. Scalability. And everything is maxed out, even ray tracing settings, as you can see. And I'm going to just manually show you the settings. Terrain quality is also set to max out. That's the only setting you need to manually change. Alright, 49 over here. And I must say the draw distance in this game is pretty good. Look at over there. In the distant hills and mountains, you can literally see all the trees, detailing on the trees, like most of them. FPS is dropping though, 40. And it's unfortunate that the 4070 Ti Super can't max this game out. Obviously with ray tracing turned on and get you 60 FPS. And even with DLSS quality, it can't get you that 60 FPS all the time. And that's a spoiler there for you. Okay, let's check out this little town area settlement. And once again, I would like to say that this game has been provided to me by Ubisoft. Special thanks to them for providing me access early to this game. And, wait. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. I wanted to climb the tree with my grappling hook. We can't climb the tree, but we can climb this. I really like the grappling hook though. Is there a day and night cycle in the game? I guess there is. There has to be. Otherwise it would be dumb. Can I grab that? Yes. Yeah guys, at 1440p, this game is quite playable with 40 FPS. I won't lie, because look at the frame time graph, it's so smooth. You won't be having an issue. Even playing this with 40 and 45 FPS. Because there's no stuttering at all. Which is crazy. And this game looks way better than many UE5 titles out there, I would say. Not like Black Myth Wukong though, that looks next level. But yeah, up next, I'm gonna quickly enable quality DLSS on top of 1440p resolution, and everything else is maxed out, including ray tracing settings. And it's going to be evening pretty soon. And as I said, with quality DLSS also, you cannot achieve 60 FPS all the time. You might get 60 average, but you can't stay above 60 all the time. Wow, look at that sunset. I want to go and look at that quickly before it sets. Yeah, okay, it was too fast. I couldn't see it. It's gonna be night soon. I can reload back to the save for daytime. Let me know how much FPS you are getting with your GPUs and CPU combinations. Would like to know that. And also do comment below what other settings you want to see apart from these maxed out settings in this video. I don't want to make it too long. I will post another video later on with more settings. I love these trees. What are they called? I actually forgot. What are the name of these trees? Pretty nice experience so far. I think Ubisoft has nailed it in terms of optimization. I have to give him that for sure. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to switch it to native anti-aliasing of DLSS, that is DLAA, and I'm going to turn on frame generation now and apply this. And the rest of the settings are maxed out, and I'm also going to restart the game just in case you are wondering. After I change settings, I am restarting the game though, don't worry. So here we go guys, with frame generation turned on, everything else is maxed out. This is with the DLAA, and it's not a good experience even with frame generation turned on right now. I expected a bit more FPS than this. I can notice some input latency there even with the controller when it drops like below 80 there. And I expect it will be a lot more noticeable with the mouse. And as I was saying that you don't really need to restart this game after changing settings. I really like the feature that oh, look at that sunset now. We get to see it this time. Beautiful. So they have implemented this feature that the game just reloads from the last checkpoint if you change any settings which actually needs a restart in other titles or other games. In this case, it doesn't. You don't have to restart, but still I did. I hope every game implements that. It makes it really easy to switch settings in between where you don't have to restart. And yeah, I can notice some input latency when the FPS drops below 80. But it's still not game breaking though. It's quite nice experience still. Moving on, I'm gonna enable quality DLSS alongside DLSS frame generation with everything maxed out. Even ray tracing is maxed out, as you can see. If you oh, it's not maxed out. We're gonna max that out and apply that. And I'm gonna quickly restart the game and be back. So here we are guys with maxed out settings at 1440p using quality DLSS alongside frame generation. And this looks quite good and playable, I would say. And as I said, when you turn on DLSS, there's a little bit of ghosting around the character, especially when you move your camera around the grass. There is a lot of ghosting you might notice. But this is DLSS 4 though. Actually, there is way less ghosting now. After I did the override, I mean, while I was streaming, I didn't update the driver, but now the updated driver is there for this game. I'm using it, and alongside DLSS 4. So earlier it wasn't DLSS 4, right now it is. So with DLSS 4, there's way less ghosting actually. Little to none. So I was wrong. DLSS 4 fixed it. Great. Wow, this storm is really picking up. And one thing is really missing, the rain effects. As you can see, there's no rain dropping effect on her hat, on her clothes or body. That's missing, that detailing. Is it available on her though? So, why is that missing, Ubisoft? Come on. Please include that. That is killing the immersion there. I mean, the raindrops would drop on your body and they will scatter around. You know what I mean? And input latency, I told you, anything above 80 FPS, it's pretty hard to notice even. On controller, we're getting 100 plus, so there's none almost. So this time, guys, we are turning off ray tracing. Not turning off, but setting them to low, and I have turned off frame generation as well. Native AA of DLSS. And as you can see, ray trace global illumination is set to the lowest, and this two also lowest settings. And rest of the settings are pretty much maxed out. And I have loaded the previous save back in the hideout. As you can see, we're getting 50 plus. So still cannot get 60 plus FPS with a native 1440p, even if you turn ray tracing settings to low. That's unfortunate. But the game looks stunningly gorgeous. I can stare at this all day. Trust me. It's so good. Wow. I love this. The greenery. Look at that. Yeah, guys, without ray tracing maxed out, also it's impossible to achieve 60 regardless. So I'll still go out a bit and check out these settings. VRAM allocation has dropped a bit from 10 to 9.3 because we're not using ray traced effects that much. And now the fog is gone, by the way. Last time I was here, there was a lot of fog. Look at all that vegetation. I love this. What's he doing? You messing with them? Better not do that. This is gonna be my first fight of this video. And complete the benchmark without fighting at least once. Finish them off quickly. Come on. I'm hitting the civilian. Why doesn't he move from there? There we go. I really enjoy the combat in this game. So far, I've been liking it, at least with this character, Navi. Haven't got time to play with Yasuke though much. Only at the start of the game I got to for like a few minutes, and that was it. So yeah, guys, 58 average FPS. If you OC the card a little bit more, you can get that 60 FPS average all the time. Finally, for 4K resolution, we are gonna max out everything, and right now I'm using DLAA for the start. We're gonna test it with DLAA and DLAA. How much FPS difference is there? We're gonna confirm that. And for the graphic settings, everything is maxed out. Ultra high settings, including ray tracing, terrain quality is also set to ultra high. Motion blur and chromatic aberration is turned off. Look at that beauty now. But can you guess the FPS? How much we are getting? That looks stunningly good. So the FPS is 25. Below 30. This is like a cinematic experience right now we're having. But quite a good one though. So with DLAA over in this scene, we're getting 26 FPS. So if I now switch to DLAA, let's see how much FPS we lose, if any. I assume that it's like 2 FPS most likely. So NVIDIA DLSS, native AA. We're getting 26 and we're getting 24. 24, 25. So we lose like 1 or 2 FPS, DAA and DLAA. So this is basically native 4K, guys. Maxed out everything, 100% GPU usage, as you can see. 10.5 gigs allocated VRAM, and I want to actually change the weather if I could. You actually can change the seasons. There's an option in the map, but it's currently unavailable. I don't know, maybe further down the road we'll be able to change it. But this is quite a good cinematic experience, though, I would say. Yeah, I'm gonna reload my previous save so it doesn't rain like this. It was dropping to 22 there. So here we go, back at the hideout, guys. I just refreshed the counters there. We are getting 29, 28, and it's the same, basically, what we were getting 26 during the rain. But I just wanted to see the beauty of this game without that rain and fog, cloudy weather. I'm gonna pause my camera for a bit and let you stare at this beauty, the greenery. Just look at it. I zoom in. I won't move so YouTube compression doesn't take over everything. I'll move slowly. Just look at that. I'm getting such a good vibes right now looking at this. We're getting 11.3 gigs allocated VRAM. This place, especially this side, looks so gorgeous. Let's switch up some settings, guys. We're gonna enable quality DLSS this time. No frame gen for now, and we'll stick to the maximum graphics settings as always for this video. And here we go with quality DLSS. We're getting 41 FPS. Wow. From 25, 26, we jumped up to 40. Not bad. Around like 15 more FPS we got out of quality DLSS. Not a big jump though, but is what it is. This is quite playable, I would say, with 40 FPS, as I've been saying, even at 1440p when I was playing at that res. That the frame time is quite smooth in this game, which makes it playable even with these kinds of FPS. And with the 4K res, the 4K textures, it looks just stunningly beautiful. I wish I had a 5090 now so I could play this game at 4K maxed out without any DLSS most likely and get 60 FPS. Hopefully can do that. But the prices are insane and I can't afford that. So yeah guys, with 40 FPS average with quality DLSS without any frame generation, you can enjoy it this way. And this is DLSS 4 by the way. And I'm also gonna try this with frame generation on top of this. And also gonna try performance DLSS because that looks pretty good. DLSS 4 performance DLSS looks stunningly good. So let's quickly turn on DLSS frame generation on top of quality DLSS. We are still at 4K. Let's apply that DLSS frame generation. And the settings are maxed out. Just gonna show you them once again quickly. Here we go with frame generation. We're getting 73, 74, unfortunately not 80 plus FPS, which is generally I consider that much. You need to get 80 for the input latency to become not so noticeable, but here I can feel it a bit because it's at 75, 74. It is there even with controller, I can feel it a bit. But if you can get 80 plus, you might need to adjust a few settings here and there. But really, if you turn off like ray tracing in this game, I mean not turn off, set it to low. There's barely any FPS improvement, like 4 or 5 FPS you can gain from turning those to low ray tracing settings, which I will show you in a bit. So I will much rather turn on RT in this game because it looks stunningly good. I can sacrifice that 5-6 FPS, I won't mind. And as much as I hate to say that I don't like frame generation, I don't like fake frames, but yeah, the implementation is quite good in this game as well. As long as you can hit 80 FPS with frame gen on and you are gonna play with a controller, it shouldn't be a problem. Next, at 4K guys, I have turned off DLSS quality and set it back to DLAA, and we are not using frame generation. I'm gonna set ray tracing settings to their lowest setting possible, that is low for these two, and this one diffuse hideout only. Rest of the settings are maxed out pretty much. I'm gonna restart the game as well quickly. So here we go, we are getting like 26 with ray tracing set to their maxed settings with DLAA, and right now we're getting 36, so we got like 10 more FPS. So not 5.6, but it was like 5.6 honestly. When I was playing at 1440p, the gap was way less. But at 4K, it's a bit more, like 10 FPS more you can achieve if you set the ray tracing settings to low. But trust me, there's a night and day difference between the lighting, the shadows, and reflections also. I can take that 10 FPS hit, honestly, and use frame gen. Make the game look way better, because it's a single player game. I want to enjoy the visuals of feudal Japan. And it's a bit stuttery now without ray tracing. As you can see the spikes on the frame time graph there. With ray tracing turned on, there are less spikes. And obviously with FG, if you turn it on, it smoothens it out. Yeah, pretty good experience. You can get 30 plus at 4K maxed out without RTX maxed out. You can do that. For the final setting at 4K, I'm gonna do is DLSS set to performance. There's no ultra performance, so performance DLSS without any frame generation, and every setting is maxed out, including ray tracing, set to ultra high. As you can see, I'll quickly show you them. So this is DLSS performance now, and you still cannot get 60 FPS at 4K, even with the help of DLSS performance. But you can get 50 plus though, and mid 40s, and image quality is quite a downgrade, obviously. Look at that water flowing from there. Oh, we got some frogs also. Wildlife is pretty good in this game. Obviously, the image looks way more softer, but the vegetation still looks great. There's no compromise in terms of visuals in the trees and plants and bushes. They still look great in my opinion. And my character's hair is kind of more soft now than before. There's a little bit of ghosting. I can still notice it if I move the camera around the edges of the character. I don't know if you can see it on YouTube, but it is there for sure. So yeah, we might have to utilize DLSS frame generation on top of this to achieve 90 or 100 FPS at 4K res. I'm going to quickly enable DLSS frame generation on top of performance DLSS, see how much we can get. Save this, everything is maxed out. So here we go guys, and we're getting 80 FPS, just what I wanted. If you can get that 80 plus, you won't notice that input latency. And it's even gonna touch 90, I guess, at times. Not 100, unfortunately. So I'm gonna quickly get out of this hideout for a moment. And there's a loading sequence here when you get out or enter the hideout. Refresh the counters again. And look at their faces. Even with performance DLSS, it looks quite good. I mean, DLSS 4 does a really good job in this game. And you can go prone, by the way, in this game. That is pretty new to Assassin's Creed series, I am guessing. I really like that. And look at that ray trace reflection over there in the puddles. I'm really enjoying the looks of this game. I think even if the story is not top-notch for this game, I can get away with the graphics by just staring at this game and not get bored. Oh, an ambush. Whoa. Let's have our fight, last fight for this benchmark run. Who are you folks? Oh my god. They're pretty good. Didn't expect him to be that good. Let's charge my blade up. Actually quite good. Throwing stuff at me as well. Them is already gone. Watch out, he's shooting arrows at us. I don't have any health. Gotta deal with this archer guy. Easy to get him. Doesn't have a sword. Right, there's more. Where is he? Oh, behind the barrel. It's close. Animations are pretty cool though, nonetheless. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. Do leave a like if you enjoyed, and if this video helped you, also make sure you subscribe if you're new. And thanks for watching. I will catch you on the next one. Till then, take care and bye bye.